Mark,
right.
Pull it out. Got him. Bop, bop, bop.
It's here. The most authentic Murphy Lab aged PAF pickups. The 1959 Humbucker Collector's Edition Series 2. It's me, Jonathan.
And it's me, Sean.
Here at Casino Guitars, we're talking about pickups today, and specifically, we're talking about this new set of Gibson pickups. They come in a little fancy case. Yeah. They look nice. The last ones were all shiny and stuff. These are sort of nicely aged nickel.
Ate up.
They're not ate up. They're
up.
not ate up. They're very lightly aged.
Looks like somebody took a screwdriver and just...
First things first, let's talk about the slight differences are that, you know, these are Alnico 2. The last set was Alnico 4. I think we talked a little bit to Mark about these things when we were there.
We did.
Lots of research. They're using like 3D imaging and all this stuff. So I get it. But the question, the discussion Sean and I were having off camera, the controversy, are they priced right?
I believe so. I think so.
Well, before you say yes,
I'm ready.
They're $999. So $1,000
$1,000
for a set of pickups.
Let me start with my perspective because I already threw out yes. You know, it's like yes, I think that, right? Well, whenever we were sharing a taco, me and sweet little Marcus Agnesi. That's what we called him. Sweet
little
Marcus. Sweet little Marcus wrapped his arm around me and he said,
whispered in his ear. Didn't even let me hear this.
A vintage set of PAFs is $10,000. I'm offering you this at a tenth of the price. And something did click for me. I went, huh. Because we had a whole conversation about the investment into research and the things that they keep finding out about the pickups, all that stuff that I was actually pretty impressed with. And normally, I toss my hand up at things like this. I'm like, not a chance. It should not be this expensive. It's all BS. But we talked on it for a bit, and he changed my mind. And that simple phrase actually made a big difference for me. But nonetheless.
What you meant to say was, but Mark, they're not PAFs. They're not vintage PAFs. But listen, I get all that, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think they're like wildly overpriced. I'm not trying to like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Dunk on Gibson and say, oh, they're so expensive. I mean, I get it. And I in my brain, you're paying a little bit for not only that research, but like that this is a thing that Gibson owns, sort of the intellectual, this is their thing, right? You know, all the humbuckers after this are kind of that are in this style, this PAF sort of style. That is very, very much a Gibson thing, right? Yeah. So I sort of get that, but then I look at like the Seymour Duncan antiquities, like that are aged. Now I will say the aging looks nowhere near as good as these, but you get the whole set for like $338 on Sweetwater. And I know that they sound good because I've used them, you know.
I own a guitar that I put one in. So, red right hand right here.
Antiquities.
I've got an antiquity in something.
Now, would I like to have this? Yes, I would. If Mark wants to send me a set, I will make the sacrifice and try him in my 335. I'll do it for you guys. I just think, and I don't, maybe it's not even a thing of them being too expensive. Maybe that's just prohibitively expensive for a lot of players. And maybe, you know, which sort of them like Murphy Lab guitar. Those guitars are so amazing. Yeah. But I know a $10,000 guitar or a $20,000 guitar, a $15,000 guitar is out of reach for a lot of folks. So maybe I just have the same kind of thought about this pickup. Yeah. Because that's a guitar to most people.
Well, and you know? I think the deal with this pickup is, and you got to think, there is a rock and a hard place situation where they don't want to devalue what they're making, you know. Yep. And I assume there is some amount of context there for the value being put on these so high because they want to show that there is a point to buy the Gibson name. Now, what I would love to see is hearing a set, and we have played a set of these. I forgot about that. That was in our buddy's guitars that he brought in for us.
Well, they were the first set.
They were the first set.
They were Series 1.
Yes.
These just came out, so we haven't heard Series 2. I think that Mark alluded to these when he was saying the stuff about they always thought it was this certain magnet, but actually it should be this when they were like researching in the super secret, top secret, you know, Gibson vaults and file drawers and that stuff.
Checking Gauss and things of this nature.
I will say this, though. I think it makes it better to me that these are limited.
Yes.
So it's not like they have these forever and they're $1,000.
Yeah.
They're making 1,000 sets.
Yeah.
That's it. I think that's kind of cool that it is being sort of presented as a collector's thing.
Yeah.
If you're that serious about having old school, vintage PAF tone and you don't want to pay $10,000, it's there. And it's not like you can't buy, the other like custom buckers and things like that, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, are like $278 per pickup.
Yeah.
So just to give you an idea of like the difference in price. And obviously there are other good choices, like we said, the Seymour Duncan Antiquities.
Well, let me ask you this now. What do you think these should be priced at?
That's the hard part, right? Because it's like, okay, should they be more than like a set of like throwbacks or bare knuckles or something like that, or the Whiz pickups?
Yeah.
Probably, right? Because they're sort of like they're putting them as the authentic thing. And if what they say is true, and I think it is, then yeah, they are probably the closest.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, like, should they be? I can imagine a world where they're even like $800 doesn't seem crazy to me. Something about $1,000, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a point. It's a point.
Like maybe they're $400 a piece. Maybe, but. And again, do I think you're getting like crazy ripped off? Nah.
I feel like you're getting, and some people will probably be mad about this. I feel like more of the ripoff comes from people stripping PAFs out of guitars and selling them for 10 grand whenever. I'm like, you not only stole the opportunity for somebody to own a piece of history that is in an instrument and to have it be what it is, but you are also parting it out and selling it at this crazy extravagant price while destroying that history. So for me, that to me is a little gross compared to them offering these, because the only other way I guess we could all agree on you getting a set of these or something close to this would be to buy a Murphy H thing, a Greenie maybe, for instance, something like that. Right. And ripping the pickups out of it and then being like, here you go. So I don't know. The price to me, and we've talked about this before with pedal brands and stuff, is some people, you struggle to toe the line of, if you put it too low of a price, it devalues what people think of it. If you put it at too high of a price, people start to think that you're price gouging. And this to me is right in a sweet spot.
It's the fine line.
Yeah, and like you're saying too, that being really a $200 difference. Like we're at between $800 and $1,000. Like, it's
this is a luxury
line.
thing. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I almost wish. Well, and I don't know if this. Again, I'm just throwing this out because I don't know. It just poses interesting questions. Maybe instead of getting the cool lifting case, maybe they did a special run and the first 500 have that, and then they have some that just come in the regular little plastic thing and
for 800
and they're less. You know what I mean? The case is really cool. The nerd of me is like, I want one of those little cases. So I don't know. And again, this obviously is a luxury thing. There's a limited quality or quantity.
Yes. No,
so I don't know.
It's tricky, I guess the main thing is if you were out there, would you buy a set of these for $1,000? Have you bought a set of these for $1,000?
I know a few people that bought the Series 1, and I've not heard any negatives from those, to be fair. And there's always going to be people that are like, it's such a ripoff and we hate Gibson, blah, blah, blah. And there's going to be the people who are like, we absolutely love this, right? Like, no matter what. And I most of the people I know who've tried them have thought they were worth it, or at least they weren't disappointed in their purchase, right? Like, tonally, the ones we played Series 1 were pretty amazing sounding.
And I think, too, that point being that a lot of times, especially in the communities that we build around things like this, it tends to be a lack of perspective. I don't have $1,000 to spend on pickups. I will not be buying a set of these.
That doesn't mean they're evil or bad, though.
Exactly. Somebody out there will buy them, and that's great for them.
That's the market.
If you told me, hey, I'm demanding that you take money out of your bank account and buy a set of humbucker pickups right now that you would love and put in things, I'd say, well, I can't afford to do that. I would probably do the antiquities. But that doesn't mean I don't have the perspective to say that some people out there would pull out $1,000 and be happy to do it right now. And I'm glad that it's there for them if they would like to do that.
Yeah, agree. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. And I do think it's cool that they're doing the research and they're making these.
They're making it in depth. He's going through it. There's an experience to it with like the case.
Right.
We were talking about this too, where certain companies, the experience is not there at all. There is no, and forget pickups. We're talking about guitars, amps, pedals, anything, right? You open up the box and what's in the box, you know? I believe that there should be some kind of experience with maybe a manual, a cool COA, a nice case that it comes in. In this case being kind of like rolling out the red carpet for this thing that you're getting.
Yeah.
Experience, I think, is everything, and especially becoming more and more of that because we went away from so much of that stuff for a while, that people want to feel like they are getting that thing. They're getting the experience.
It is, and it is really cool. And we forget, like, you know, no one, do you need this? No. But it's super cool, you know.
In the same vein, do you need a Murphy Lab?
No.
Do you, you know, there's a lot of things we don't need.
But if you can afford it, it's awesome, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
And you could put that for any, you could insert any sort of hobby that we like, and you know, I mean, I was just walking around the Bass Pro Shop with my son the other day, and plenty of things I don't need, but man, if I had a lot of disposable income, there's a lot of things I wouldn't mind going home with. So you know, but there you go. I'd love to know what you guys think, and think about it for a second, like Sean's saying, because I don't think Sean and I's opinion are that far apart. You know,
it's fun to have the conversation,
and
I
think
is. More people should enjoy that banter and like go into that. But think about it for a moment and ask yourself realistically, like, okay, you know, I feel like we've reached a place where how much hate can you give to a company for literally just doing a thing like this? You know, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes we tend to go totally like, well, they should burn, and we enjoy that, and it's like,
I like that these aren't just like, oh, they're custom buckers or burst buckers, and we rebranded them and we put them in a fancy case. Like, no, they've done some research, they've dug deep, and they've done something new. Maybe it's not innovation, but at least it's reverse engineering, and I think that's cool. So
I think it is cool too.
There you go. Hit like, hit subscribe,
hit the bell.
Don't forget our road to 100K. That's every Wednesday morning. We got Eddie 9 Volt videos coming out with his album launch, which is Friday, November the 22nd.
That's right.
So catch that. And,
Saratoga, get excited.
Halo is one of my personal favorites so far. Pretty amazing, but all kind of good stuff. So yeah, check it out. We'll see you guys next time. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Be kind.